Okay, one of the questions that we have on the show is TikTok. What happens if, Congress and the president, they ban TikTok? Here's John Thune, Senator.
And I think it's high time Congress steps in on this. All the authorities that the president has to deal with these types of threats come from a pre-digital age. We live in the digital age now, and these applications are prolific. And there are some clearly that have national security implications.
And this is one of them. George Rosenthal from ThrottleNet is with us this afternoon. Thank you for being patient while I continue my rant there, George. How are you this afternoon?
Absolutely. I'm doing great. No problem at all. Thanks for having me on.
I'm a proud American and a patriot, George, so I do not have TikTok on my phone, mainly because it just annoys the crap out of me. And a couple years ago when my wife started showing me these things, I had to institute a 1 TikTok a day policy in my household, which stands to this day. So I don't buy into it, and I don't like it. Although I do see a lot of TikTok stuff on Twitter. People repost the TikTok on the Twitter. But our question from last week is, if it is deemed that this should be banned in this country, how does that work technologically? Is that something? Can they flip a switch and then the thing's just not in here?
Yes. Well, yes, I agree with you completely. I don't have TikTok on my devices. I don't like TikTok for this reason, and it's because if you look at their terms of service, it's a very, very scary app coming from the Chinese party. I don't care what kind of conspiracy theory you think it is. If you read the terms of service, it's very, very serious. They can track you. They can turn your cameras on. They can listen in on your phone. This is all things you agree to when you agree to the terms of service.
Because nobody reads those things. They just press agree. They just want to see their goofy videos.
Holy cow,
They want to
George.
see their goofy video, yes. And so what's interesting, this morning I was getting ready to watch on TV, and this woman was on being interviewed. She created an account as a 14-year-old, and immediately the content she was being fed was anti-American, dividing on social issues. It was things about anti-capitalism. I mean, this was in the first 5 minutes. She created an account as a 14-year-old.
Wow.
So what's happening is it's basically a Cold War without firing a missile in a way that you're basically 2 generations away from changing the country, and that's what they're trying to do through these apps. Now,
hey, hang on. I want to say something real quick because Abby's listening in the producer room right now. I want that soundbite for the roundtable tomorrow. I really do, because what George just said I think is important. People need to hear that. Sorry, George. Continue, please.
No, it's the truth, and it's scary. You're 2 generations away from changing the fabric of the country, and you do that without going to war and firing a missile. You just start feeding information through their phones that people are glued to, and it's a quick and easy way to do it. On the other side, I do see the lobbyist side, where you have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all having shorts now, short videos, and they are now wanting to get those eyes away from TikTok and back onto their platform. So there is part of that as well. But most of this has to do with the Chinese Communist Party. To answer your direct question, yes, you can flip a switch, and here's how. They would form laws to force Apple and Google to take it off the stores. Then everybody says, all right, well, I already have it on my phone, so I can immediately start downloading it. Well, what they do then is they make a law and go to all the internet service providers, AT&T, Spectrum, you name it, and say you are going to shut down all of the IP addresses that come from TikTok. So they can absolutely control what comes into this country in terms of content. So when it becomes law, and I think it will be, and it probably needs to be very quickly to stop indoctrinating everybody, but that is something that they can absolutely turn off. So you can have the app on your phone, but it'll never update again once they pass that law.
Are there any other countries that have banned TikTok?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yes. All over the world. There's countries. We are actually behind on this whole thing when it comes to banning and honestly just locking out, from a DNS standpoint, locking out their IP addresses to make sure that no devices through your internet service provider. So once you do that, whether you're on a cellular network or your home internet, if your internet service provider shuts that off, it's done. So, yes, you can absolutely turn off apps in this country.
George, this is way more insidious than I realized.
Yeah, me too.
And why is this not being covered as this? I mean, you're exactly right. No more. We just get to the 14-year-olds, and in 2 generations, the entire country flips. That
Totally
is
different.
frightening.
Yeah, and you haven't fired a missile. So you've changed the fabric of a country. You've changed the fabric of a nation without having to go to war. And all you've done is continually feed the minds that are just glued to their screens watching these shorts over and over and over again, which is terrible. It's a terrible thing. But there's alternatives. I mean, there's YouTube Shorts. There's, you can go to Instagram, you can go to Twitter. There's all kinds of alternatives if you're looking for that kind of fun, short entertainment. But to sit back and let TikTok, and some people say, well, it's probably not run by the Communist Party. You can look it up. It's owned by a company called ByteDance, BYTE Dance. I encourage everyone listening to go out, look it up, do the research, and understand who owns that company and who's operating it.
This is great information.
Wow.
George Rosenthal, you are going to be featured in a soundbite in the Reardon Roundtable, which I think there's big compensation. You'll have to check your contract for that. But I appreciate your time this afternoon. Thank you, George.
Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate the opportunity.
That is very interesting.
Yes, it is.
And frightening. All right, Sue's News coming up after the top of the hour. Kill meat as well.